This is an oil painting of a tricolor heron that I saw at Spittle Pond. Here you can see how I had various stages of this. I worked on it over the last 3 days. I started it on Thursday afternoon after taking a walk at Spittle Pond where I saw it, and it was very close to me. It at one point could have been like within 10 feet of me. I saw it feeding. I also saw this greater yellow legs, this yellow-crowned night heron, and then these are some sort of ducks. I'm not sure what species. I saw this large terrapin. Others had already gone into the water, but there were two tiny ones that I saw on some sticks sticking out of the water. This broken rock is in an area where I saw some scientists once studying the critically endangered Bermuda skink. So that's a concern. There are a lot of other rocks that are a concern, and I talked about them on camera. This is an area where there's a lot of long-tailed nests. It's a rough day. I don't know if this is wave erosion, but you can see that big rock there that's all broken off. I'll look at it at a different angle in a minute. Now these waves on a rough day look nice and pretty. Look at that splashing. But if I pan to my left, you'll see some broken rock. And this wasn't like this a year ago. It's a big bit of rock that's broken off, and it's big bits of it over these rocks in around the corner. If I come around, you can see the white of a rock there, and you can see some scratches on the rock. You can see where the rocks must have dragged across the top there, and you can see where it's scraping all along the top there. This wasn't like this a year ago. Instead of going all around the world for climate change, take a walk along our shores and look at where there's been a lot of erosion. Look at how the casuarinas are really close to the shore, how a lot of cliffs are breaking up. It's a lot of things that can be looked at right here in Bermuda, and I don't know if it's much that can be done, but we can be aware of certain things. That was pretty, but look at this rock up here that's all broken up. It's right next to a spot where people often sit and eat. That's a broken up rock. Got the little casuarinas. Where people often sit and eat lunch. You get a closer look of that area where people sit and where this rock is broken. You get a clear look at the broken rock right here. Don't know if that damage is caused by casuarinas, but in that area where people used to sit, it's actually where there are long-tailed nests. I took these pictures back in 2006. There are actually casuarinas starting to sprout in some of the rocks, and I actually pulled one up, and its root was so long and so much soil came up that I figure I better leave it to the experts. But you can see all the soil and that long root, and you can see the little hill where that root was. So maybe a group ought to come down that are experts or with guidance and pull up those casuarinas. The casuarinas may overgrow just like they are starting to grow where it's that small pond. But let's get back to my art. Here you can see the tricolor heron that I painted, and here you can see how I went about doing it. I didn't show the start of this painting the first day's work, but this is the last couple of days that I worked on it. I worked on it all day Friday and this morning. I wanted to get the tricolor heron in a fair amount of detail, but I also wanted to show that it was standing in front of some grasses near a mangrove tree, but it was standing in the pond, so you could see its reflections in the pond, and you could see all of that grass reflected. And I wanted to do it where you could have some detail, and I was trying not to have it looking too busy. So I had to work on different edges and things to try to make it all fit and look like it was behind the tricolor heron. So here you can see the piece as it is when I finished. And this is the whole painting right here. Thanks for watching, and I would be interested in knowing what you thought about my painting. And I also would like for you to write any comments or anything that you thought about the environment, the coastline, and the erosion, the casuarina trees. You could share it with people or groups that you think would make a bit of difference with this sort of situation. Thanks for watching. Bye.